The killing of a young man in his 30s, an enterprising young man, business guy in his 30s in Bafut over the weekend. Now, this young man by the names of Longchi Sama Claude was killed over the weekend in Bafut. And this is what I have learned. This is what I have learned about his killing. This is what I have learned about his killing. I have learned that the victim, again, 35 years old, struggling father of 2 kids, a young son of Bali, who lived in Bamenda, was taken from Bamenda into Bafut at about 6 a.m. Breaking Sunday morning. That was yesterday. He was taken in his own car, a white Jeep, by unidentified gunmen. We are told he was murdered in cool blood in a little village called Agiati in Bafut. After killing him, ladies and gentlemen, after killing him, they took his car, the Jeep, from Agiati down to another village called Manka, an area under the control of General Tiger. Now, the family is said to have gone to the Colonial Brigade in Agiati. Ladies and gentlemen, the family went to the Colonial Brigade in Agiati, that is in Bafut, to seek permission to take the corpse away for burial. Eyewitnesses have reported that the murder of Claude was carried out by some rooks claiming to be Ambazonia restoration fighters. The white Jeep belonging to Claude was later found speeding through Manka in Bafut upwards towards Mambo. General Tiger is called upon to investigate this incident. It is important because it occurred within his area of control. This happened within General Tiger's area of control, and this is known to be happening a lot in Bafut. We totally condemn this interim government, totally condemns these kinds of acts that paint diligent and genuine restoration fighters as criminals. Harassment of our population, of our civilians, kidnappings and ransom taking, they have nothing to do with our war for independence. No mercy, and I mean no mercy, will be shown on criminals who carry out such acts when caught. The criminals who killed this young father of 2, leaving these 2 beautiful children behind, fatherless, ladies and gentlemen, fatherless. The criminals who carried out this act, they will be caught. They will be caught. The criminals who killed this young father, they must be apprehended. And we are asking the population of Bamenda and Bafut to contact us with any information. Contact us with any information that they may have. Any information you may have. Please contact us with any information that you may have concerning the killing of this young man. It is very, very sad that a young man in his early 30s, ladies and gentlemen, will fall victim to such acts by rooks calling themselves restoration fighters. No restoration fighter, ladies and gentlemen, does this, because this is not part of the struggle for our independence. It is not, and we will not tolerate it. We will not tolerate it. I am now joined by the brother of this young man who lost his life only yesterday, and his jeep was confiscated. Let us hear from him. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Again, this is Secretary Chris. You are live with me. Can you just paint to us what you know about the killing of your brother? I know this is a hard thing for you to do, considering that this happened just yesterday. But can you tell us what you have learned, what you have heard, where precisely he was picked up in Bamenda, taken to Bafut Place?
Yes, so I have gotten multiple reports about what actually happened.
Okay.
With nobody actually giving an exact account. But what I heard from the first account, he was kidnapped from his house.
Oh, he was kidnapped from his house. One account says.
Yes. Another account says he was at a bar. He was having some refreshments with his friends at the bar when gunmen suddenly arrived and started taking money from people and asked who has. Actually, they spotted his car out and they said, "Who has the car?" And he said it's his car. So they took him with the car and drove him to Bafut and killed him there. That's the second report I got.
Now, you are the blood brother, the same father,
Yes.
the same mother
Yes.
with him.
Yes.
Have you
Yes,
spoken
my
to the
brother.
wife?
Yes.
And what version of the story does the wife confirm? Was he picked up from home or picked up at the bar?
The last time she spoke to him was when he got off from work, when he was leaving work and going to the house. So she's not actually sure because they spoke. She sees him in Bamenda, so she spoke on the phone with him.
Oh, okay. So,
Yes.
all right.
Yes.
So the wife spoke with him after he left work.
Yes.
Okay. So they picked him up in his car. They drove him to Bafut.
Yes. They drove him to Bafut and killed him there. And dumped his body in the farm.
Was he the only one picked up, or there were others picked up with him? Any idea?
I think he was the only one.
And he had these two kids that were seen on the screen here.
Yes.
How old are the children?
The children are 7 and 4.
7 and 4. And what
Yes.
business was your brother into in Bamenda?
He was working for an electronics a store that sells electronic devices.
Okay.
Yes.
Electronic
Yes.
shop, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He has been working there for years now. For a couple of years now.
Did he own it, or he was working for somebody, for the company?
No, he was working for the company.
Now, has his jeep been discovered yet?
I beg your pardon?
Has his jeep that was taken along with him been discovered yet?
No. I don't think so.
So the jeep is still out.
Yes.
Now, your family, I understand, went to the police station in Agiati, obtained permission to retrieve the cars. Did the police say anything like as to what they think happened?
No, I haven't gotten any information as for that.
All right.
I have not gotten any information, yes.
So, but right now, the cops have been retrieved, correct?
Yes, the cops have been retrieved.
Okay. Any gist at all as to who did this? What are you hearing?
From all reports, they say it was done by Amba boys. From all reports.
Okay.
For most reports, they said it was done by Amba boys, yes. They are the ones responsible for this.
Any idea if any money was collected from him?
No.
So as of now, all that was taken from him was a car.
Yes.
How was he killed? Was it by gunshot or beating, torture,
Yes.
or what do you know?
He was not tortured. He was one gunshot to his head. This was a murder. He was murdered in cold blood.
Right, I have seen that photograph, and ladies and gentlemen, that image is so bad for me to even put it on the screen here. So he was murdered by one gunshot on his head.
Yes.
All right, thank you for this information. Please keep me updated when you find out what happened to him, especially if you recover the jeep, if there is any new information. And again, please accept our condolences. We can assure you that this interim government, we will do everything that we can. We will do everything that we can to figure out if these killers were Ambazonia Restoration Forces, which I should say were not, because this struggle is not about attacking or killing our own civilians. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not. And anybody who goes after our civilians is no longer fighting our cause. He or she is fighting a cause different from that of Ambazonia. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about the poor quality of that call, ladies and gentlemen, but that was the brother, the immediate brother to this young man murdered in cool blood last night or early in the morning yesterday in Bafut. Now, let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. Bafut is becoming very, very notable for kidnappings, ransom takings, and killings. Bafut used to be one of the stranglehold for this struggle against La République du Cameroon. We used to have some patriots, nationalists, fighting in Bafut and setting examples. In fact, there was a time we could only call the BLM Bafut Ballet, Bui, ladies and gentlemen, as being the strongholds for La République du Cameroon. I mean, strongholds for Ambazonia against La République du Cameroon. But Bafut has since turned into a fear for terrorist fighters. If they are fighters, if I should even call them fighters. Anybody going about arresting civilians, harassing civilians, torturing civilians, abducting and taking ransom from civilians in Ambazonia is not fighting for Ambazonia. That is not part of this struggle. Civilians should have the right of passage everywhere in Ambazonia. Those of you out there fighting, nobody asked you to pick the gun and fight. You did so on your own. If you can no longer voluntarily do so without harassing civilians and torturing them and killing some and taking money from them, leave the bush. Leave the bush. If you no longer can do it with dignity, you leave the bush. It's just becoming so much. We hear it in Bali. We hear it in Bafut. We hear it all over the place in Ketunjia. This is wrong. It is not part of this struggle, ladies and gentlemen. And if we should find anyone, we don't care how good a soldier you have been, if you are one of those out there torturing civilians, killing civilians, again, we will have no mercy. We will show you no mercy. Anybody who kills qualifies to die. And we must stop this, especially in Bafut. And I really hope that the people who run Bafut, who manage Bafut, the LGA, listens to the sound of my voice. You got to do your job. You got to investigate incidences like this one. We cannot have our people killed in the hands of people who say they are defending Amazonia. Civilians in that matter. This has to stop. And we or all of us must stop it. Again, if you are in Bafut, in Bamenda, and please, you have information that can lead us to the people who abducted and killed this young man. Ladies and gentlemen, please send us the information.
Secretary Chris, General Tiger is somebody that you and I have addressed on this television when we came out and spoke very seriously against him and the work he was doing. And after, you remember that after we addressed General Tiger and I think 5 others, that kidnapping died down in Bafut.
Correct.
And it's because of this instability that the former President Sako is doing that. I think that people are taking this opportunity to do what they are doing. But General Tiger has been a criminal. Is somebody that they're going against the re-restoration forces in Bafut, disarming them and arresting them, taking their weapons. So these are reports that we have gotten from Bafut. This guy does not have a very good resume. And if I would not be surprised that General Tiger is involved with the killing of this wonderful young man that has been killed, I would not be very surprised. But I want to let Amazonians know that this new president who is coming, I hope and I believe that with the new team she's going to put together, we are not going to do as we did last time. Secretary Chris, look, I'm one of those people who have been very vocal against kidnapping, against all this killing of our own fighters, the infighting among the restoration forces. I am one of those people who believe that General do what is wrong, we call him out. But some people think that, oh, when General do wrong, we cannot call them out because they are on the ground. Has it worked? For the few times that we came and called people out, it worked. It worked. Yes. But their own way has not worked. It's instead worse. I get numerous complaints from Ground Zero, from ARFs, complaining about the infighting, secretaries, from Fako to Dongamantu to Momo to Menchung to Bui to Ngokuntunja, Mesam, Kupe Maniguba, Meme, you name it, all of it, you know, you have this infighting. But we don't do anything about it. And I've come to realize that some of these commanders are being supported by the diaspora, and that's why they don't want to call them out. And some of the people who have been in diaspora have been involved in dirty business with some of these commanders on the ground. They don't want to say something like this, Secretary Chris. They don't want to come away and say something like this. People using ARF to fight their personal fights, farms, plots, businesses, they use ARF for those dirty works. And tell me why this ARF will not become like this. But anyway, we are saying that whoever is doing this in Bafut, we will call them out. And I hope that this new defense posture going forward will have a real solution to address these criminals who are in Amazonia, destroying the image of our restoration forces, going against our citizens. Our citizens. These are not even blacklegs. Eh? You cannot prove this guy. This guy, they have not even given any report. This guy was a blackleg or nothing like that. If he was a blackleg, somebody can understand. This is not good. You know, most of our people have turned their back on this revolution, not because they don't want to support this revolution. It's because of what some of the criminal men, people carrying guns, have done to them. Secretary Chris. It's because of the criminal actions that have been committed to these people. That's why they have turned their back on the revolution. But I pray that with this new president, with a new dawn, with somebody who is not going to be compromising and taking millions from the Republic, selling our revolution, we will be able to call a spade in this revolution. And whoever commander, be it who, I don't care if you have been the shining star in the past, if you turn your back against Ambazonian, you start killing Ambazonian instead of fighting the Republic, we will call you out. And I hope we will have the mechanism to hunt you and get you wherever you are.